Hi, we're back. Welcome back to the Rose Show. Just asking Michelle about her life. But that's not what we're talking about in the bus today. That's what we talk about in the commercial. You buy your kids toys, clothes, games, and back-to-school gear, so why are they the ones being marketed to by retailers here? Well, it could be because just last year, kids were the ones that influenced $1.12 trillion in overall family spending. But the world of marketing has gone far beyond a well-placed ad during Saturday morning cartoons. There are now interactive ads on websites that your children visit. For example, for each time a child clicks on an ad on certain sites, they can earn virtual money or possessions, encouraging them to watch over and over again. Advertising watchdog groups say marketing is growing more devious with the use of smartphones and social media, and hope the government will help them form guidelines to stop it. So the question now, ladies, is do you think advertisers are too eager to market to kids? And I will say this, that I now have 2 children that are old enough to be online, know the passwords to the computer,
know everything.
Can get on to most websites, mostly YouTube to watch Rapunzel movies and hockey websites for my son and Halloween costumes. In any event, they're attracted to that stuff,
Yeah.
So I think it is dangerous. What do you think?
Well, I mean, my kids are still a little bit young for this,
Yeah.
but do your kids, do they actually come up to you and say, I want this new fruit juice, or is it from their kids in their classes, or is it from the commercials that they're seeing?
I think it's a combination of both, but they see a lot of stuff on TV and now online. I think it's 50-50 where they say, I want, I want, I want,
Right.
I want, I want, I need.
And I feel,
You
I
don't
don't
need, you
have children
don't need.
myself, but I
Right.
feel like it's always been there. It always will be there,
Yeah.
no matter what format it is in. So it's something that's been going on forever.
Just another avenue, though, to get to
Right.
them.
I actually stopped going to a particular children's website, so we don't do too much of it in our house yet, but we go to sesamestreet.org, which is a great one. Does
Yeah.
not have any ads on it, and we can talk about numbers and letters and that sort of thing. But I stopped going to one actually over the holidays. I went to the Thomas website, and my son loves it.
Thomas the
But
Train.
there was
Thomas,
this
yeah.
ad on, and it was so violent with, like, I mean, it was for kids' toys, but it was like guns flying and
Really?
stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the same age group that Thomas is in. So I
Right.
just stopped going to that website,
Huh.
and so maybe parents are going to do more of that.
Interesting. Yeah, it does influence because kids are influenced very easily, and what we see now is like I came home, what day was it, Friday or whatever, and I came home to the kids, they're with my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and they have the laptop open,
Oh,
and my
no.
son's picked out 3 Halloween costumes, and my daughter's picked out 2 Halloween
Oh,
costumes.
already?
I'm like, it's August 13th.
know.
Well, what is going on here? But they get locked in on something, and they just scroll and flip and look, and
I mean,
boom,
I
boom,
don't like
boom.
the idea that they're being enticed to click on these over and over again,
Yeah, no,
and then they
that's not
earn
good.
these credits for different things. I mean, that is taking it to
Right.
a different level. And what was it? Didn't we have something in our news about how the kids were actually charging things to a credit
yes,
card?
Yes, yeah.
And they didn't know
They
it.
don't know it.
Yeah.
That happened actually to my husband's sister.
Yeah.
The son Rocco, he got a hold of the phone and was,
Right.
doing things, and then she had all these charges, and the
Right.
mom, she watches very closely, but
Right.
things can happen.
I've heard the stories too, the smartphone apps where your kid will get a hold of it and they want to play, I guess the popular game, I don't have one, is the Angry Birds. And
Oh,
then,
yes, yeah.
then you get redirected somewhere else. And it's the same thing on the
Right.
computer. Do you want to be part of SpongeBob's, Bubbly Town or whatever? And next thing you know, you click yes.
Right.
And if it's a little different on the computer, but on the smartphone you can get it. So do you think the kids influence us as parents on what we
yeah,
buy and what we
of course.
purchase?
I mean, I don't buy anything for myself anymore. It's
Yeah.
all geared towards the kids, but we're entering probably over the next few years that phase of them watching
Right.
television and
commercials.
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
that.
But we're not quite there yet, thankfully.
Yeah.
And you have a cat.
And I have a cat. The cat is pretty quiet, doesn't really demand too much other than food every day.
Doesn't
but-
ask to use your phone
Yeah,
or
it
your
doesn't
laptop.
ask to,
Good training though for later years,
It's not
right?
like I want a new bed, Mom.
All right, let's check in now with Melissa, who's blogging here and talking to our bloggers and friends on Facebook about this situation. A lot of folks that you talk to, Melissa, have children, and I'm sure they're probably in the same boat as me anyway, with my kids being a little bit older.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and I have to say kudos to Michelle for, keeping her eye open and catching that with her son, because you never know what they're watching and, what they come in contact with. But we're going to start over on the live blog on foxprovidence.com, see what some of our bloggers have to say this morning. Jerry says, this is something that the federal government should step into, not cutting senior citizens and social services. And Smokey Wolf says, yes, I think that's what parents really need to sit and watch watch their kids online at all times, like I did when they were little. And we have a comment from Joey B. He says, I don't think the marketers are going too far. It's up to parents to control their children's viewing on the web. If you don't want your kids to be targeted by markers, then get rid of the TV, internet, and phone. And that's one way to look at it. And in case you're just joining us, you can weigh in on our web poll on foxprovidence.com. It's right under the live blog, and today we're asking, do you think marketers are going too far by targeting children online? Your choices are A, yes, it's tougher for parents to monitor, B, no, it's part of the business, or C, no, but there needs to be guidelines. And our friends on Facebook are always weighing in and have a lot to say. Becky DeStefano says, there's got to be a way to use parental controls on phones. And Donna says, I think it is wrong to do this, but they do it on TV too. As for online, some sites say to ask your parents before going online. And Valentina says, I think it's harmless. So, you know, we get a little bit of everything, and I guess as long as you're staying in contact with your kids and monitoring them, then everything will be all right. But for now, I'm going to send it on over to Catherine, who's in the